Hi everyone, my name is Van and I'm a lingerie blogger. I cannot say that I've had so many great experiences in lingerie stores. So today I want to discuss the experience of buying your lingerie in a store, in a physical store. Right now, especially during the pandemic, we might not be really concerned with that because, we kind of avoid going directly to people, being in contact with people. And a lingerie store is definitely not maybe the place to be right now because of the nature of the garment and how you're gonna have to interact with your bra fitter, for example. However, I think it's still important to talk about it because as much as I love lingerie and as much as I love actually buying lingerie, the experience of going into a store and having this luxury to see what you're gonna buy in real life before you actually spend money on it, the feeling you have when you try the things on and it fits or it doesn't fit, but you already have your own experience of the product even before going home with it. I think this is a very precious thing. I think it's very important, and lingerie stores are, I imagine life is not always easy for them. I think they might even be struggling nowadays because of the internet and all that, but their role is very important still because this interaction is not something you will get on the internet, even with online fittings, basically. However, sadly, I cannot say that I've had so many great experiences in lingerie stores. I actually don't like going in lingerie stores per se. I like the idea of going there, but somehow it's never as great as it's gonna, as I imagined it whenever I cross the door. Simply, the energy is not what it should be, I think. So I want to discuss a few experiences I had, and I want to know if you have experienced the same things or if I'm crazy or, if my experience is unique. But I'm pretty sure it's not, after discussing with a few people. So yeah, let's get into it. I've been into lingerie stores very early in my life because I grew breasts very fast, very early. And at first, I really disliked this experience just because I was a young person, like about 13, 14 years old, and going into these stores that were not meant for people of my age it was very intimidating. And not only that, but I felt that a lot of times, the bra fitters didn't really respect my boundaries. And I don't know if it's because I was young and I'd say that very often people don't respect kids' boundaries. They tend to think, oh, you're young, what do you have to hide? As if it's nothing because you're not grown enough to have something to be ashamed of, which I guess in an adult mind, it makes sense, but for someone that's young and having a changing body, it can be very, very uncomfortable. So I really disliked going into lingerie stores. I actually hated it. So for example, I'd say an experience before, just before I stopped going with my mom, I remember. So my grandma had breast cancer a few years ago. About 10 years ago. So yeah, I was probably about 16. And so because I was looking for specialized bras, because I couldn't find my size in stores, she referred me to one of these ladies, that basically act like a stockist, but they're their own company. Let's say they order from companies and stock everything at home. So it's not a store per se, but it's like a consultant or something. And so I remember, so at the time, I think this lady, maybe she had grown up brands, like definitely not my aesthetics for 16 years old. So everything she would offer was of basically full coverage, really bland colorways, like beige, like a super shiny beige, weird beige that nobody really likes to wear nowadays. So this and black and white, basically this kind of stuff. And like basically her bras were made of lace and microfiber. So nothing very attractive for 16 years old. Like actually I don't think older women wants to wear that. But yeah. So okay, at this point, I'm going there with an open mind. I'm thinking, okay, I don't find anything. I do need to wear a bra. So I'm gonna go ahead and try what she has to offer. So she basically figured out my size. Then she had to order a few samples. I was not obligated to buy if she ordered, but sometimes people know how to pressure you. So eventually we came back to her place. She had received the garments and I had to try them on. And when I tried them on, I felt so horrible because everything was my size, but everything looked awful. And I think because I'm kind of an introvert, sometimes it's really hard for me to tell people how I really feel. But this day I could not hide it. So I was like looking at myself in the mirror, and I was just like, okay, I think I'm about to cry, because now I feel that my mom put all this effort into finding me something that fits me so I can be comfortable. This lady ordered the things for me. Everybody got through troubles for me, and now I hate these bras. I don't want to spend 80 euros on each of them. I don't want them. And I didn't want to sound capricious, but I just cried. So then, my mom was all confused and like, oh my God, like, what's going on? And I went, wash my face, whatever, in the bathroom. And when I'm coming back, I'm hearing this lady telling my mom that I basically have psychological issues and that I'm never going to be happy with anything because what she offered was great and I didn't like it, and that's all my fault. I think she was a witch. So hearing that, first of all, I was hurt, but I was also like, wait a minute. Like, I found it very abusive of her to my mom and also towards me, because like she knew I was in this uncomfortable position and I felt that she took advantage of it to force my mom into buying her stuff. So my mom did not buy her bras. She saw that I was so unhappy and we left. Eventually, later I found bras, of course. But this experience really showed me that although lingerie is such an intimate subject, some people that are allowed to sell it and talk about it are so rude about it and just do it wrong. So I wonder how many women this person has traumatized during her career, because her approach was awful, like so insensitive. And yeah, just a lack of empathy. I did not get it. Even now, like I'm telling you this, and it still upsets me a little because I felt that she should not be selling bras to people. So yeah, so that was one of my first encounter with the word of grown-up, well-fitting lingerie, and I did not like it. So anyway, we went home, whatever. And well, I had many other experiences after that. So I did eventually find a great boutique in the Caribbean that sold my size, and I had this great fantasy bra that I loved. This was my first well-fitting bra at the time, and I think it was a 85F or something. And I love this bra. So from that point when I got this great bra, then I felt comfortable enough to basically feel like a normal kid, I just had breasts, but because I had a bra that fitted them, it made them look normal. Okay, so that was nice. That was a nice experience at that point. It was a very simple bra, like very basic one, like a black one with molded cups. But I loved it. I wore it to death. Yeah, and then at some point I didn't have a bra anymore, so I had to go by myself and find them. So, well, I went ahead and did my lingerie shopping by myself. At this point I was old enough to go by myself. And what I realized is that because of my young age, people would not take me seriously. So it would be like, people, you come into the store, people look at you weird, as if maybe you don't have the money to be there. They think you don't know your size. They think you don't know yourself. So the way they treat you, it feels as if, they really patronize you, if I can say that. Like, you go into that store, you know your size, you know your breast. It's been a while. And the lady treats you like you're a child and like she knows better. And sometimes they would even give me such wrong advice. Like, I've bought so many heel-fitting bras because the ladies would just want to make their sale. And I'm pretty sure they knew it was not right, but because they didn't have my size, they would just rather put me into anything they had that would roughly fit. So yeah, eventually I would still buy the bras because I needed them, but with more and more experience, I started to not trust them at all. And that's how I started looking on the internet and, realize how a bra should fit and what would work for me and what were my options. So the internet was really great for me. But still, the internet is also a pain because you don't know what's gonna happen. You might know eventually after a while, but at first I didn't know. And I was tired sometimes to have to order several times the same bra in different sizes. So eventually I still looked into stores. So if I'm going to tell you a few little stories, I remember when I lived in Toulouse back in 2012 to 2014. So Toulouse was great for, I had a lot of lingerie stores to look at, and they were all pretty and nice, and I had all these French brands to choose from. The only issue is that most stores would not stock my size. Even if the brand would make it, they would not stock it. Or if they would stock it, they would have it in very small quantity or something. For some reason, I could not find my size. So they would always redirect me to brands like Prima Donna and Empreinte. So at this point of my life, I wasn't into these brands. Like, now I love them. Of course, I grew up and now, I can appreciate their aesthetics. But at 18, 19, I wanted less coverage. I wanted more colors. Something, I guess I wanted something sexier. And, just something that would make my breast look like the commercials. I didn't want something that would cover me. I didn't want that. No, I wanted the balconies. I wanted the plunges. And that's, I wanted Obad, for example, this kind of brands. Le Jabi also, I really loved Le Jabi. So those were the brands I was looking for. And these brands at the time, Le Jabi had Elixir, their full bust range, but Obad did not have full bust cups at the time. So I would always quiz myself into their F cup, trying to wear them even if they would not fit. So that was kind of a disaster, and I spent a lot of money on it. But yeah, so that was my struggle. And, I remember I discovered the boutique Darjeeling. I went to Darjeeling. I was looking for a swimsuit, and I remember at the time I could fit somehow into the 85F, which is roughly 32F. I could kind of fit depending on the shape and all that, but it was not guaranteed, and very often the 32 was too big for me in the back, and the cup were a little shallow for me as well. So anyway, I'm still trying. I'm going, and the lady's giving me a few items to try on, and I realized that none of them fit. Eventually, I put on something that doesn't fit but fits better than the rest, and and she's like, "Oh, that's great! It looks great on you." And I'm like, no, I'm not sure. I think it's a little big, like it doesn't sit flat, and I feel that it's not right. And she's like, "Oh well, not everything can be right." So I want to talk about how unethical this is, in my opinion. When you see that your customer is struggling, and you know that maybe she doesn't know her options, maybe she thinks she doesn't have any options, and probably you know that she does, but you won't tell that because you want her to buy your stuff. So you make her think that it's probably normal, that she doesn't fit into the garment you offer, and that it's okay, that you know what, like, it could be okay if only I had all the information. For example, right now I know that I can find so many options of swimsuit on the market. So if I decide to buy one that doesn't fit me properly just because I like the design, that's on me, and that's perfectly fine. Like, maybe I like how I look even if it doesn't fit. But if a person is in this vulnerable position that she's literally unaware of her options, and she doesn't feel comfortable with herself, and you can tell, and you basically make her think that you are her only option, and that she cannot get anything better than what you have to offer, I just find it to be very bad, like very bad business practice. And I'm sure people do this all the time. I've experienced it several times when I didn't have the knowledge to get what I needed, basically. So that was that. I did not buy this swimsuit. I knew something better was gonna come for sure. But I could have bought it if I was a little bit younger, if I knew a little less better. So yeah, that was something I did not appreciate, and I keep a very bad memory of that. So eventually, at that point, I knew that I could not trust people that have something to sell, and that I had to come in the store prepared, basically, knowing exactly what I needed, my size, what I was looking for, and if someone didn't have it, then I had to go. Eventually, at some point, I got very good at this. Like, I was so obsessed. I knew all the name of all the styles of all the lingerie brands. Like, I think I still do, but now it's because I do it all the time. But at this point, I didn't have a blog. It's just because I was looking for lingerie so desperately. And yeah, so eventually, as I got better and better, I experienced all the stuff. Now that I knew what I was looking for, when I went into stores, what I had in front of me was people that were extremely skeptical, was people that did not hide how they felt about me being a young person in their expensive lingerie stores, and that they made me feel like I wasn't somewhere I should be. Like, why was I there? Did I even have the money to be there, you know. So I had this as well. And I think this is one of the worst things like you can do to a customer. First of all, because you don't know what they have. You just, if you decide to judge the customer by how they look, especially, I don't think I was like especially disgusting to look at. Like, not saying that you should treat people this badly if they look disgusting, but in the sense that I did not give them a reason to treat me badly. I did not come in the store weird, drunk, and smelling like alcohol. I was a regular customer looking for something I needed. They did not believe in my knowledge either. So when I would tell them I need this size, they would be like all skeptical, like, I don't think so. I know better. I'm a bra fitter for 20 years, my lady. Yeah, these kind of things. So honestly, when people treated me this way, for sure I was never gonna give them my money. But it was very interesting. It was very interesting to see. And I really felt as if this industry was very closed-minded and very conservative. So it did not give me a good feel about it. But because I needed it so much, you know, and because I was in love with it anyway, in the sense that, you know, lingerie is amazing. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It makes you feel great once you find your own thing, you know. And I wanted to feel great, so I would not give up, even if they would treat me like that. But for sure, this kind of stuff made me want to go online more than anything else. I liked being into lingerie stores because they were always pretty, and you know, I could see stuff, I could touch. But I would always have this weird feeling every time I would go, like, okay, you're going into a lingerie store, you have to look fancy, and like, you have to look like you're a grown-up, and you have to look like you have money. Like, why would I have to pretend so that I can be a decent, worthy customer? You need to stop that. Like, this is bad. This is so bad. Like, a lingerie store, because of the nature of what you're selling, should be a place where people feel comfortable. It should be a place where people feel so comfortable that you can see them naked and they don't go home feeling like, oh my God, I was violated. Because you made them feel good. So it's so sad for me because I think it's still happening. And, you know, I think it's just unacceptable, and it's too common. And you know, I'm talking about my own experience, but for example, you know, right now I happen to be close to a very nice lingerie store, and I remember the first time I went there, I also had one of these weird experiences where I wasn't fancy enough for the store. And the lady started treating me nicely only when she knew I was a blogger and I was gonna write about the store. Is that okay? It's not. So, you know, these kind of things. And yeah, I think it's really bad. Like, it's just bad. And, you know, I hear a lot of people from the lingerie industry, you know, the ladies in lingerie store especially, complaining that people go online. Basically, they helped me try stuff, and then they started being worried that if I wouldn't buy the things right away, I would order them online. But they would never forget to tell me, oh, but you know, if you buy online, you're gonna have heavy tax duties, so it's not gonna be worth it anyway. So you better buy it here. You know, first of all, I think it's rude. I didn't ask for that comment, and I didn't say I was gonna buy online. So why would you say that? And second of all, if you treat people badly, yes, they're gonna give their money to someone else. Like, I do not mind paying duties if I have to avoid feeling like I'm nothing because I went through your store. Especially if your store didn't even have something that I needed. Like, maybe your store is great, but maybe you don't have the color I want in my size. Maybe you know, you cannot have everything. So of course sometimes people are gonna go online. Don't take it personal, and maybe if you make them feel great, they will want to spend money on you because you made them feel great. That's also a possibility. So I'm not there to give lessons. Like, I don't want to sound, you know, harsh and judgmental, but because I'm a customer and I'm also part of the industry, I have this experience and I know what people are doing in both sides. And you know, one of the worst experience I had in a store, and this was in Montreal, and I'm not gonna say the name of the store, but if you ask me privately, I will tell you. So this store, remember, I brought one of my best friends there because she never had a bra fitting before. And I was like, okay, nice, let's have a ladies' day. We're going to the store, we're gonna try on some lingerie, you're gonna know what's your size, and then, you know, we can go from there. So we go to that store, and you know, it's kind of a dark store. Like, it's not very, you don't have so much space to walk around. But they have a lot of stuff. They have many sizes and many brands. So we went there, and so we enter, we say hi. The lady doesn't seem very welcoming, but we're like, okay, whatever. We start looking, and then she comes to us and she's like, why are you there, basically? But not even in a nice business friendly way. Like, she was literally asking us, why are you there? So we told her, like, we would like her to get a bra fitting. And she immediately said, okay, but we only do fitting if you're gonna buy. What kind of business sense is that? Like, how are we gonna give you our hard-earned money after you say that? Such a rude comment. What does that even mean? And so, of course, we were like frozen. My friend felt so weird. It was so uncomfortable. I think at the end of the day, we did not try anything. We were so disgusted and like, so, I don't know. It was terrible. So after that, of course, she was like, I'm not sure if I want to try lingerie anymore. Of course. So, of course, I was so pissed. I tried to change her, you know, her vibe. We went to other stores where people were nicer. But, you know, it was already kind of, the mood was already ruined. So we did something else. But, you know, we definitely ended up finding her size, and, you know, life went on. But this left such a bad taste in my mouth. So when I went back home that day, I looked the store up on Google, I checked the reviews, and these stores had the worst reviews ever. I didn't even know this was possible for a lingerie store that sells this kind of stuff, because they're selling, you know, luxury brands. Terrible reviews. People saying that the staff is like body shaming people. Sometimes there is a weird pervy vibe. People don't feel comfortable. Women feel sexually harassed. I was like, I'm not coming back. And I did leave a terrible review. Like, yeah, I did this because I was like, people need to know, like, don't go there. Like, you should not give your money to this person. Like, no. And, you know, so this, you know, how me as a single person do I have so many bad experiences in stores? I do not believe I'm a terrible customer. I don't think I'm rude. I don't think I'm, I don't think I do anything to deserve that, actually. You know, I could be wrong, but I really don't think so. So, what's wrong, you know? Because these experiences I've had in France and in Canada, I haven't been everywhere, but I think it's not normal. And I've only been in big cities, sometimes smaller cities, but, you know, not small enough so that they act completely different. So, yeah, I think this is a big problem. And then I have had testimonies from older people. I've had plus size friends saying that stores are body shaming, that they're literally looking at them in disgust because they don't stock their sizes. This is not the way you're gonna keep people buying in stores. And you know what? It's so sad because lingerie stores are so precious. Like, having this opportunity to have this experience with someone and your body, and you know what you like, discovering yourself, you know, finding your right size, feeling good in front of the mirror, having great, like, correct advice. It's so important. Like, we all need it. So why would you ruin the experience like that? Like, even if someone would come and never buy, the person doesn't deserve this treatment. And maybe this person doesn't buy now, and maybe they will buy later. Maybe they want to dream. If you have a store and if you have changing rooms, it's for people to try stuff. You cannot make them feel like terrible because they're not spending money, because you spend time helping them finding their size or finding something they like, because that's not how they're gonna spend money on your stuff. And I know that sometimes people are terrible. Like, I've worked in customer service too. I know people can be very annoying, and I know life is hard, like, but a lingerie store should be the last place for people to feel bad about themselves. And that's something I really hope is gonna change. And I really hope I'm gonna have way better experiences in the future in lingerie stores. Because, yeah, that's not normal. And that has been happening too often and to too many people, unfortunately. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I hope this video wasn't too, negative. I did not mean to be negative. I just wanted to, to share my experience and to inform people that they're not alone if they've felt this way too. And I just want improvement in the industry, and I think it's very important to talk about those things. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. But I can also tell you about good experiences I had, for sure. It's just that somehow I had way less good experiences than I had bad experiences. So yeah, time to change that. All right. So don't forget, I guess, to subscribe if you like this. Tell me your opinion. Tell me how you feel about lingerie shopping, if you prefer online or if you prefer in stores. And tell me if you had good experiences and where you had them, because I want to know, and I want to, to be aware of where I could buy lingerie and have a good service as well. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.